All right, so I think it's actually time we take and drop this engine into place and get some mounts made. First, I'm going to take and strip everything out of the front of this to give me a little more room. Then we'll get it hung up over the top, start welding some stuff in. So I just pulled out the old AC condenser. So now I got all the room up here. I'm going to take and pull all of this wiring out. I'm going to pull the brake booster out. I'm going to pull the windshield washer fluid reservoir out. The horns are right there next to it. And then I might even actually take and cut the rest of this out on this side. Well, actually on both sides. As you can see, it is pretty beat up in there. And then it's pulled out this way. So it shouldn't be bowed out, and that one should not be bowed in. They're not really serving any purpose. So I think the best thing that we can do is just take and cut that out and give us room for turbos. I just pulled this windshield washer reservoir out, and it's just full of water. Wonder how many years that took to fill. Also, it's all broken. And pieces are floating around inside of there. Wonderful. That'll go in the trash. Well, that got out of hand really quick. You can see it's all gone. Everything. And there's the heater core now and AC condenser or AC core and everything. All of the harness is ripped out. There's a big old nest there. And I threw another one up here. So now I'm just going to vacuum up, these various places where there's just crap everywhere. We can get that bad boy hung in. So I'll be putting this harness in, unfortunately, unless somebody wants to step up and buy me a Terminator, but I don't see that happening. So we're just going to run in the factory one. And I don't know if I showed this in the last one. I got some wheels and tires on the rear. These are some Stillies. They look like trailer wheels, which is good because this thing's gonna be hauling some ass. So they're white Stillies, they're about 9 inches wide, so they're gonna work for now. I think they'll make for some good burnout tires. I guess we'll just have to find out though. So it almost feels wrong putting these nice parts in this car because it's all shiny. Shiny. Not terrible. I almost feel like I need to be sticking that shitty LS in the car. A nice dirty one. But it's not going in. And actually, fun fact, I paid as much for that TBM manual brake kit as I did for the entire shell of this car. Perfect. All right, I'm sure you guys can appreciate this with me. So we're just lining the motor up to get it up in, but these are my temporary motor mounts for the car. So I'll get it set on there, and then we will get it held up by that crossbar. Time lapse. So what we'll do now is we'll get this, overexposure. Anyways, we'll get the cross brace up and over. We'll get all this stuff taken off. We'll get it up in the air, and then maybe I can also get the transmission hung in there today as well. All right, so check it. That is a factory LS1 engine mount. So what that means is I'm gonna actually take and pull this engine an inch further forward. And I'm gonna make a plate for the stand and then just use those. I think moving it an inch further forward will help out a lot with this transmission fitting in there better as well. If I can get an extra inch and up, it should fit a lot better. I will still probably have to cut a majority of the top out of that, but not as much as I would have to cut if I left it the way it is. That is awesome to be able to use those if there's ever any issue in the future. It's a GM mount. Okay, I got a couple updates, but first, remember I was telling you I think it was the wrong oil filter? It probably was, but look what I just found. This is the reason why it was leaking. All right, let's get you down in here. So see this is on the side where the oil filter housing would be. I just went to undo it, and it's in there finger tight. That very well could be why it was leaking on top of the wrong size oil filter, but I'm going to say that was a big reason why it was. It looks like a oil temp sensor. And that might be your oil pressure sensor. That is your oil pressure sensor, actually. Wonderful. Well, I'm going to go through and check all these because obviously somebody's been in here messing around. Don't mind the wood. Actually, that's what else I wanted to show you. So you can see there's a mount. And there's another mount. So this one is pretty good. I think that one's perfect where it's at. Obviously you can see the exhaust manifold. That's going to fit actually really tight, but it will fit. So this piece of wood, I need to make a spacer that size. So all that is a 2x6. But I mean, all I have to do is just make a small bracket box out of that big sheet of steel. And then it's good to go. And this thing will be completely mounted with engine mounts. Nice. Funny story about that is those are actually LS mounts for the swap on this car. And aside from a couple of little modifications, they bolt right up. I'm gonna have to drill out the hole size just so that all the bolts will fit. So the two fit on the top, the bottom are just shy of being able to actually fit in there. So I'll drill those out. This side mounts up to the K-member, perfectly fine. But in order to get the right location, it needs the 2x4 over here. Okay, so that bracket does have to come off before that exhaust manifold will fit. Not a big deal because I already planned to take it off, but just something else to do. Alright, I just threw a couple bolts in it real quick just to see. But you can see that yeah, it has some clearance. It has enough clearance, at least I might just leave it. And steering shaft. Hard to tell, it's close. But it's got clearance all the way around. Pretty sweet. I'm excited. This is coming together nice. I don't know, maybe we'll just leave that block of wood, right? Looks good. Looks OEM. I had to throw the intake manifold on it. I mean, you got to get a visual on how it looks with it all together, right? Looks pretty good. World's first Hemi VTEC. Well, even better news. The transmission only needs to go up maybe a ½ inch. It's really close. It's hitting back here on this, which this is coming out, which will put it really close. I'll just have to, where is it? So I have to open this hole up for the shifter. I think, possibly. So I think I can massage this corner here out a bit, and this too, with a hammer, and it'll actually fit in there. We'll see with the trans cross brace, but it's really close. If not, I will have to just cut a little bit and open it up and move it so they can go up like an inch or so over the whole length of it, but it's really close. It's looking good. Performance wood.